returns that we made in the first year that we were here. When the market went down, we didn't lose any of that money. The vehicles that we have continue to make money, and we did get double-digit returns again in 2025. To my friends and neighbors in the area, Harleysville and down in Glenside where I grew up, I would urge people to go to the William Penn Inn, go look at what they have to offer, because we are very happy with Crash Proof Retirement. They've lived up to everything that they said they would do, and it's given us a level of comfort that we didn't have before.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event happening at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, February 17th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Tom Azelby. On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Tom Azelby here on the Tom Azelby Show every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. I let that song play a little bit more, thanks to David Bowie. Thank you, Kirk. You're keeping it rolling. Thank you, my friend. Kirk Corliss producing today, this Saturday morning in February. I know it's cold up there. It's 16 degrees. Wow. A lot of cold weather. I talked about it yesterday. There's been a lot of cold weather in Florida too, but nothing like what you guys are seeing up there. We're actually getting up to the 70s finally down here in South Florida, but I'm not rubbing that in. Just giving you a weather report, but I know it's miserable up there, and it has been for a couple weeks now. But we're gonna try to distract you from the cold weather and tell you what we got coming up. Obviously, you can find us on the Odyssey app if you want to listen. We're live on YouTube. You can also follow me, Tom Azelby, on Facebook. You can follow me on the Old Gravy podcast. I do owe some Old Gravy podcast drops. I got to get on that. Still working on getting Dave Schrautweiser from Fox 29. He was the crime reporter. I think I'm going to nail him down by next week to get him on to come on and talk about that. It was very good. I don't want to say it was the best documentary, but it's really good, especially if you're a Philly person. It's Philly versus the Mob on Netflix. It takes you, from the Scarfo, Stanford, Merlino wars in Philly. And I was living in Center City at that time, and it kind of really recapped, like you caught the era there. Like, you would read about it in the news, but this documentary puts it all together for you. And Dave Schrautweiser from Fox, he's retired now. He's a big part of that documentary because he covered all of it. So I'm definitely going to get him on. Another guest I want to get, but he lives on the West Coast. His name's Mike Madden. He's a really good guy. He's the son of John Madden, the Oakland Raiders coach, famous broadcaster. Everyone knows who he is. And Mike Madden, his son, also a former Harvard football player. He bought Fighters Heaven from it was Muhammad Ali's fighting camp up. You go up the Blue Route. It's up in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania. And he's turned it into a museum, and he restored everything. And a lot of great stories from there. And John Madden bought it as, I guess, as a hard asset. I'd ask him about that. But he's out in California, so I'm trying to get, if I do a fill-in on an afternoon show, I'll probably have him come on. But I'm a former big fight fan, loved the boxing from the old age. Everything's kind of changed today. I don't follow it as much. Everyone's watching MMA. But anyway, I'd like to have John Madden on. Plus, we'll talk about his dad, and we'll talk about, growing up with John Madden as your father. The guy's a legend. And it's funny, I met John Madden at a football game. It was the Harvard-Yale 100th game, and I saw him. He was at my parents' tailgate, and I looked across. I'm like, oh my God, that guy looks like John Madden. And my brother after the game comes up to me. He goes, yeah, that's John Madden's son. He's a friend of mine. He was a freshman at the time, but he had a big smile like his dad. Only met him once, but I never forgot him, because you know what? When you smile, people don't forget it. So try to smile a little bit more. And there is some truth to that. People, if you got a smile on your face, people are usually more welcoming. You stir up some conversation, especially all you young entrepreneurs out there. You're all got your head in your phone. You got to, when you're in an airport, when you're in a restaurant, if you're an entrepreneur, evangelize your product to everyone. You never know. You got to do it 1,000 times before one person says, hey, give me your card. I got someone you should meet. I like you. Always remember that. I like to give young entrepreneurs a little tidbit on what they should do. So anyway, that's just my little entrepreneur pitch, because I love entrepreneurs. Anyway, talking of entrepreneurs, Barry Sable will be on tomorrow, Sunday, 10 a.m. We are the weekend crew here at 1210 WPHT. I'm going to get into this Lion King Mimi video that Trump's in a lot of trouble for. It will be an interesting, delicate conversation, but I'm going to have some fun with it, believe it or not. But I'm going to give a fair assessment. If you don't know what it is, stick around. That's going to come up a little bit later. We're going to talk about it. But it's the virtue signaling white suburban Democrat is so triggered. They're totally losing their minds. And I'm going to try to give you a fair assessment of what I see. And that will be coming up in a little bit. Okay. My next thing, what I want to talk about. Cynical Publius. I actually consider him a friend. I've never met him in person, but he is very popular on X, and I'm citing him because I'm going to use some of his material. And you should follow him on X too, because very insightful, former U.S. colonel, went to law school late in life, and now is a merger and acquisition attorney. You can find him on X at Cynical Publius. He's a great guy to follow. He gives out great information. So he put a post that said 10 stunning similarities between Hamas and the Democratic Party. Interesting concept. So let's talk about it. And everyone should know, a lot of the Hamas specifically, they draw from a Marxist communist kind of philosophy. They hate capitalism. Once they came into power, and they did this in Gaza, they dismantle class structure. They no private property. The land belongs to the people, but it really belongs to the powers in Hamas. The guys that are running Hamas, everything really belongs to them. They even believe in collective farming. And when they took over control of Gaza in 2007, and I think Israel allowed that, they nationalized every business, and they took land, and they said no privatized import. So if I was a guy that was importing carpets into Gaza, no more. Everything would be imported that came, imports only. Anything that came in, it would come through the government, and then the government would decide how to distribute it to merchants or retailers, but they would control the import. That's a very important thing to realize. We have plenty of businesses in our free market capitalism where you could set up shop to import whatever you wanted, as long as it's not narcotics or illegal drugs or pharmaceuticals, but you can set up your own business and import it from Italy, or we do it all the time. It's to us, you can't even imagine where your government comes in and says, no, you can't import anything. We will bring in all the imports, and then we'll decide who can sell it and who can distribute it. But that's communism. That's how it works. And communism never dies. We see you might be able to stifle it and contain it for a while, but I see it building up with the Democratic socialists in the United States. They're part of the Democratic Party, and they're gaining so much power. Actually, we just saw one win Mickey Sherrill's primary, and I'm going to get to her if I can this show. But a Bernie bro, total socialist, neo-Marxist. She's the one that is in the position in Essex County to take over the governor's seat. Mikey Sherrill, not Mickey. Mikey Sherrill's position since she became governor. That's how far New Jersey is dropping. So let's get into how Hamas has similarities to the Democratic Party. Okay, so the first one that Cynical put out there is both organizations. So we're saying Democrats and Hamas. And I'm not saying Democrats are murderous killers like Hamas, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm comparing the philosophy that I see in the Democratic Party and what Cynical Publicist sees. Both organizations deliberately create confrontation with government authorities with the express intent of filming those confrontations to share on social media. Hamas was huge on this. They do something awful. They watch the Israeli reaction, and then they clip it down to make them look like the oppressors. And anti-ICE is doing this with the clips. Antifa has done it. Black Lives Matter has done it. A lot of the environmental groups have done it. So they intentionally do these confrontations to create havoc so they can film them. And then these videos are completely edited. And then they use their media sources to spread it. And you saw this in the United States. You see it all the time. Yeah, we're in the video age. You see it all the time. Same thing with Renee Good, and that was killed by ICE. Same with the nurse Alex Pretty, Trayvon Martin. They edited the calling that when the guy George, what was his name? But anyway, when the guy George, that's what I'll use for now. When he shot Trayvon Martin, ABC News, I believe, allegedly edited, and then it spreads like wildfire. They edited the call where it just sounds like it's a black guy, like that's all he said. But they edit out the part where the 9/11 operator asked him, "What is the race of the person that you're following?" So this has been going on forever. The Covington kids that looked like they were assaulting the poor Native American man. That was a kind of a Hamas technique that Democrats do. They edit out what you don't want to see, and then eventually, thank God, we have a civilian or citizen media now, because so much you wouldn't have seen. And that's why Joe Biden put 80 FBI agents on the Twitter account to suppress stuff. And they had 80 agents. They weren't chasing John Dillingers and kidnappers and bank robbers. They were there under the authority of the Department of Justice under Joe Biden to make sure no one was saying what they didn't want you to hear. Wow, thank God we dodged that bullet. But the good news is there's always a positive. The media now has spread. Everyone can do a podcast. Everyone has a video on their phone. You guys all know this. I don't have to tell you. So the world has changed for the better in that way. I know there are some downsides to it, but it really is better because if you dig a little deep, you can get the information. Here's another thing. Hamas was always bringing kids to protests. And if something bad happened, they love to drag out the body like these little human shields. And we see it here, and you see it in Portland. You see it in Minneapolis and a lot of these left-leaning blue cities. There's a bunch of kids out there. Never bring your kids to a protest. Never, ever. And I have a story, and I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I'll tell it at another time. But don't bring your kids for two reasons. Because people that, if you're on one side of an issue, they're on the other. The other people can be very vicious to your kids and say awful things to them. So don't bring your kids to protests. Let them be kids. Don't do that. But the left seems to love that. They love bringing their kids to protests. What was the next thing that Cynical had here? Okay, rank and file members, and these are useful idiots, are actively encouraged to illegally engage with armed authorities. These are martyrdom operations. The Hamas has done this for years. Now we're seeing the Democrats do it. Renee Good and Alex Pretty, both of them, it seemed to me, Pretty was a loner. There's something off about him. Renee Good was running away from her kids, moved 5 different times, keep getting away from her younger children. Listen, You go through their lives, which I did on this show, a lot of brokenness there, And they actually become, George Floyd was, Nancy Pelosi thanked him when he was died. Thank you, George Floyd. Think about it. They're being used, and useful idiots, I hate to use that term, but they're giving up their lives for this so they can be politicized by a political party, the Democrats, to be weaponized for politics. It's very similar. You know what? I'm seeing I got to take a break. Perfect. I just finished up at number 4. I got 6 more for you when we get back.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
Tune in tonight starting at 7 p.m. for the Bob Pantano Saturday Night Dance Party. Live from Adelphia in Deptford, the Bob Pantano Saturday Night Dance Party is broadcast exclusively on 98.1 HD2 and Bob Pantano Dance Party Radio on the Odyssey app. Driven by Colonial Nissan.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back to 1210 WPHT. This is Tom Azelby, and I'm doing a comparison of the Hamas tactics to the Democratic Party in the United States tactics. I know it sounds a little bit of extreme. My main focus is not Hamas. My main focus is the Democrats. So we're going through 10 things that some of the tactics they use and what they have in common. So I'm going to go to number 5. Illegal violent operations are funded by U.S. tax dollars And the money, some of the money is laundered through multiple NGOs and nonprofits in the United States. Hamas did the same thing with international donations to build their infrastructure, like water treatment plants, schools. Instead, they built tunnels where they could kidnap people, hide their weapons, etc. But that goes on in the United States. So some of these protests that turn violent, they're funded by U.S. tax dollars, which Elon exposed through Doge how much of that money was going to. No one knows where the money's going. I'm not going to even go there right now, but money was just spread all over the place and a lot of nefarious uses. And it does go on in American protests that your taxpayer might actually end up into the pockets of these knuckleheads out in the street causing trouble, blocking traffic, throwing water bottles, spraying people in the face. The Antifa groups, the leftist extremists. And that's not protesting, by the way. Protesting is standing on a street corner with a sign, yelling slogans, singing songs. But what they're doing is not protesting. So, okay, the next one, number 6, I have laws are irrelevant when they are inconvenient. Laws are ironclad rules when they are convenient. Well, that's how they look at it. The Democrats are the biggest rule followers, but when they interfere with legal arrest by ICE and Border Patrol, these are legal arrest warrants, and when they jump out and block traffic or whatever, then the laws are irrelevant to them. Laws are only ironclad when it's delivering what they need, but they're allowed to break the law, but you better not. That's why they're always bringing up January 6th, a 3-hour riot that lasted 3 hours. People were overcharged, over-sentenced, and thank God they were pardoned because they all served plenty, quite frankly, compared to all this continuous rioting nonsense, just causing trouble. When the laws are convenient for them, they'll apply them. When they're not, they'll break all of them. Here's the other thing they do. Hamas dehumanizes their opponents. And I'm not going to go through all the things that Hamas says about Israel and America. And for that matter, what they say about Christians, what they say about the Jews, they dehumanize. And you're seeing dehumanizing tactics being used by the left. They did that against the police after George Floyd. They do it against the January 6ers. They do it against ICE. So you just act like your enemy is worthless. And they don't want the masks because these people, what they call them fascists and Nazis, the worst thing you can call them, and they want them demasked because they want to go harass their wives and their children and their husband. And that's part of the dehumanization of them. And that's why they use all that fascist slogans. It's like these are evil, terrible people. We don't do that. We might say you're a Marxist or you're a communist, but we don't do it with the kind of the aggressiveness that they have towards towards MAGA. It's like they want you out of here, and always remember that. And but we're in charge right now, so we got to keep being successful because success is the only thing that's going to keep these people at bay. Another thing that they do, the commonality between Hamas and Democrats, and I'm not saying Democrats are Hamas. I'm just doing some light comparisons here, or heavy comparisons. Interpret it any way you want. A major goal is to sway public opinion on the international stage and create the story that the aggressors are actually the victims. We're seeing a lot of that, no doubt about it. Even Democrats sometimes, even in their personal lives, I notice this, and I have friends who are Democrats, and I think it's more of a trait of the left than the right, that when their own life gets screwed up, divorce, they're fat, they're broke, they can't pay their student loans, they get fired from the job. I do think it's in the Democrats, and maybe because they're more of an emotional animal than a cognitive. And I'm not, and I'm generalizing it, but I'm not saying every Democrat's like this. But I do notice that people that I know that are Democrats, if they screw up, it's always someone else's fault. I don't want to say it's always someone else's fault, but that's always the line of the excuse for what happened. And I'm not saying us MAGAs and Republicans are the perfect people in the world. We have our problems too. There's no doubt about it. But Democrats, when they make a mistake, it's always like, there's victimhood there. That's a big part of their movement. And I think that carries on into their personal lives. He says in number 9, neither Hamas nor the Democrats they can't do memes well, which is true. And we're going to actually talk about a meme that is totally blown up on Trump in a little bit. And that'll be an interesting conversation. And number 10, the ultimate goal of both Democrats and Hamas is to create an elaborate deception operation as a path to absolute power. I'm going to read that one again. The ultimate goal of both Democrats and Hamas is to create elaborate deception operations as a path to absolute power. Basically, they're going to lie to you, and they're going to make things seem what they really are is they don't want you to know what they really are, but they're like doing a performance to make you think differently. And I don't know. I really like those. I think Cynical Publius did a great job, so you can follow him on X. Okay, we're going to move on to another topic. And I want to tell you, Barry Sable is not on tomorrow at 10 o'clock. There's basketball on, so his show will not be on, but he'll be on the following Sunday. But if you wanted to listen to the show from yesterday from 3 to 6, me and Barry co-hosted that. So if you want a little Barry this weekend, listen to yesterday's Friday show from 3 to 6. Okay. The Grammy Awards. I know a lot of people have covered this, and I'm going to come to the defense of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I just skewered Democrats comparing him to Hamas. But now I am going to defend a very leftist Supreme Court justice who many people on the right don't believe is qualified. I kind of feel that way too, but that's not how it works. You get picked by the president and you get to become a Supreme Court justice for life. That's how it works. But I will defend her on this. She was at the Grammys, and it was a full-out, we hate ICE, we love illegal immigration, and even the people that commit crimes, we welcome them. We're all on stolen lands. We all heard that. But Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, they said she was clapping, and she was part of this anti-ICE festival that they had at the Grammys. And why they would turn off half of America, I find it fascinating, but that's what they do because they're artists and they don't really care, and they're leftists, and they live in their world. But they're kind of going after the Supreme Court Justice Jackson, like that she was part of it. She was clapping and laughing. But once again, this is us doing what they do to us, like taking video images. No one really knows if she was clapping and cheering. Maybe someone out there, but I couldn't find any evidence of that. She was clapping and stuff when they were nominating her for some memoir she did. She was up for an award. She didn't win. But then I heard that Marsha Blackburn, who I like, she's a senator from Tennessee, was going to open some type of congressional investigation against her. And we don't need that. I like fighting fire with fire. If someone, if you punch back, there's no doubt about it. But I think we're way off here. I haven't seen that she was celebrating. I don't think no one said that she was wearing the anti-ICE pin. And I think she was up for an award. She could go to the Grammys. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think we should, unless there's evidence of her going crazy when they were yelling all the anti-ICE stuff. And right now, I haven't seen any of evidence. So I would tell the senator to back off on this. It's don't waste our time. I will say this: The Supreme Court justice is no Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who I was not a fan of. But one thing, you talk about her academic achievements, how she approached the law. She had a legal mind. She wasn't emotional. It was all logic. And Ginsburg wanted to interpret the law, where Brown wants to mold the law. So we can give credit. And listen, I'm not a fan of Ginsburg, of some of her rulings, but at least she was a legitimate legal intellectual that sat on the court. And Anton Scalia was very close with her. So that says something to me too, because I'm a big fan of his. With that, we'll go to break. We'll be right back.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up.
Cash flow, tariffs, payroll, taxes, every day starts with a full plate.
So you got ahead of it.
Had to. That's why I checked out LendSeek.
How was the process?
It was simple. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding options. Fast, clear, and no games.
Any upfront costs?
None. Zero out of pocket. No prepayment penalties either. Up to $5 million, with funding in as fast as 24 hours.
Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Hola, amigos! BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, covers the biggest sports stories nationwide, live and interactive. From the build-up to the big game in Santa Clara to the road to March in college hoops. As the night's games are getting underway, we're following along for the stories that matter. Tap in! BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Bet3. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
At Citizens, we help make sense of your money and all your money questions.
Should I pay down my debt or start an emergency fund?
Is now the right time to start saving?
How can I move my financial goalposts even an inch?
Can money actually buy happiness?
What's it take to live like a royal in Queen Village?
Whatever money questions you have, Citizens has the answers. Make sense of your money at citizensbank.com/made-ready. Member FDIC.
Real sports talk for real sports fans. What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and you can catch You Better You Bet with me weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the new Westwood One Sports. From being live from Radio Row for the big game to being joined by the biggest names in sports and entertainment, it's sports talk for people that love sports. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to 1210 WPHT. This is the Tom Azelby Show, and this is Tom Azelby not sitting in. I'm always sitting here on Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. You can catch me here on 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, and live streaming on YouTube. So a little New Jersey update, and I'm probably going to butcher her name. Analia Mahia. She just won the primary, and there were a lot of Democrats in this primary. This is to replace Mikey Sherrill, who I called Mickey Sherrill in the beginning. Mikey Sherrill, who's our new governor. I actually like Mickey better, but so this district is in Essex County. It's a very Democratic area in New Jersey, where I think New Jersey is becoming almost all Democratic. It's slowly getting bigger and stronger. The Democrats are taking over the whole place. I think it's a lost cause, and I say that, and I am born and raised in New Jersey. I have a home in New Jersey, but I think we have bigger fish to fry. But anyway, she wins, and she's a Bernie bro, total leftist, buddy with AOC. She'll be the part of the squad if she actually gets to Washington. But this was a primary to fill the seat temporarily, and there were a ton of Democrats. So she'll only hold it for a short time, and then in a few months, and I won't lay out all the logistics of it, she's going to have to do a primary again and then run again for the full term of the seat. So she's now just a temporary, which is only going to change in a few months, and then she'll have to go through the primary again and run again. The Republicans have no chance in this district, as from what I know from some of my inside people. You know who you are, who actually was telling me about this story yesterday. But total hardcore lefty, and I keep saying this, blue states, blue cities are moving further to the left. They're not coming back to the middle, because it seems that MAGA secured the middle. The corporate country club guys who are always just talking smack and sitting out there worried just about tax cuts. The MAGA movement has secured the middle. So it appears that in order for the Democrats to get oxygen, they're like the left are the people that are getting the real extreme left are the ones that are getting the energy, that are riling up the Democrats. So this some of her statements is, she wants ICE abolished. It's a rogue agency, fascist. She wants to tax everything. She wants government health care. Government health care is the worst idea in the world. And she is like really, really out there on the left, on the left. And if she wins that seat, it's just the prediction that I'm making here is coming true, that the Democrat people that are getting the energy, that are getting the votes, are further left than we've ever seen before. The John F. Kennedy part of the party is dying a quick death. So anyway, keep an eye on her, and I'll say her name again. I think it's Analila Mejia. Leftist is going to probably take over. It's so interesting. She'll be taking over the helicopter pilot, Annapolis, the woman that went to Annapolis, that this is what her replacement is. It says a lot about who Mikey Sherrill is. Like, that's the type of person that is going to be filling in her shoes. And because I think Mikey Sherrill is, I don't know. I don't think she's left. No doubt about it. She's left. But what she really is very ambitious. That's what she is. She wants to be a senator, then she probably wants to be a president. But she's probably more ambitious than being a Marxist. But the woman filling her shoes is a full out Marxist. Okay. All right. The thing that's hitting the news and, the media is losing their mind over, I don't know, maybe it will tone down. I just got wind of it last night. So late night, which Trump does, what's amazing is he doesn't have an intern posting. Maybe they do for the White House thing, but they have review boards and everything, but his Truth Social is his Truth Social. So late Thursday night, he posts a 62-second video meme, and it shows him that it's like he's the king of the political jungle. It's kind of a Lion King kind of theme. It's but I don't think it's a lion. I forget the song that they use. Like in the jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. I don't know. I've only seen little clips because it was taken down. But he shows all these different Trump's political enemies, and they are his enemies. They tried to incarcerate him, bankrupt him, turn him into a Russian spy. But basically, the video is, and you can still find it, it's out there, is he's the king of the jungle, and they got all these broken voting machines, and he's flying to the jungle, and all these political opponents of his, who we all know, and I'm going to tell you who they are and what character they were. But right at the end of the clip, he shows the Obamas, Michelle and Barack, as primates. That flashes up at the end of the clip, which very tasteless, no doubt. Tasteless, dumb, putting that up. But that's Trump. But I don't think his intention was to be a racist, because he's not a racist. But anyway, that flashes up at the end of the clip, and it's creating a firestorm. It was taken down like 11 hours later. Trump says he didn't watch the whole thing. He just saw the beginning. And until you get to that, they would have had a tough time losing their minds, the left, if that casting in the end of the Obamas wasn't part of it. It probably would have, just would have been another silly meme that was put out there. But because how that characterization of the Obamas, it's created a firestorm. So and this is what I always find interesting, the white suburban leftist Democrat who they drink from the fire hose of outrage. These are the people on Facebook and Twitter right now losing their minds over this. And what I say, a great description of them, these white suburban Democrats, they're virtue vampires, okay? If it's bad for black people, right, or makes black people look bad, they like suck on it. They feed on this black insult. They don't care about if it could be hurtful to some people who might have watched it, if that type of thing upsets them. So whatever, but they don't care about actually if it is insulting to black people, but they just like that it is, because it's like their juice, it's all their energy, it's like their holy water. And then they wipe their mouths, and then they can't wait for the next one to come out. Like they feed on this stuff with all the horrible things going on in the world. This like 3-second clip of the Obamas on some silly meme now the reason Trump liked the meme, and he said he didn't watch the whole thing, because he's this courageous, beautiful lion, like kind of going through the jungle, and kind of who has defeated all the other Democrats who are all different types of animals. So it's a casting problem, quite frankly. And that's what blew up this meme. Trump's the lion, great. But they do have Biden a monkey eating a banana in a very slow way. It's quite funny. You have Hillary, she's a warthog. She's sweating and grunting. Then you have Pritzker, he's an elephant. He's the billionaire, big fat guy. Then you have Chuck Schumer. He's a zebra who kind of bows to the lion, because Trump has this New York thing on him where he's always getting Schumer to kind of concede to him in a way. Then you got Adam Schiff. He's a giraffe. He's got the long neck. You got Whoopi Goldberg's in there. She's a laughing hyena. Kamala is a tortoise, just slow and has the protective shell on her. She never wins the race, the slow tortoise. You have Hakeem Jeffries, hysterical. He is a sloth, just a lazy sloth hanging around. And then at the end, the casting gets destroyed, and the meme is causing a lot of trouble for Trump, because he ruined it with putting the Obamas as primates. And listen, that's it's a self-inflicted wound. But his intention, this guy's not a racist. That wasn't his intention. I probably believe him. He probably couldn't sit through the whole thing. He's up late at night, throwing memes all over the place. And now he's in a firestorm. But the white suburban Democrat, they just love this. They could care about crummy schools in urban areas, or African Americans, working class, losing jobs to illegals, or problems in their own neighborhoods where, criminal illegals come in. Compton, California, the Mexican gangs chased out the black gangs. They don't care about this. This white suburban rage, they can't drink it. This is the stuff that sets them off. That's why I call them vampires. They're virtue signaling vampires. They just love it. You know what? I would suggest what Trump could do. He could come out and give a speech, and he can make an apology. He doesn't have to apologize to the Obamas, because they tried to put him in prison, incarcerate him, call him a Russian spy. But he could say, hey, listen, that could have been hurtful to African Americans. I'm sorry. And then he needs to turn on these white suburban vultures and just start telling just explaining to the country what they've done to a lot of that hasn't been helpful to the Black community. He could have a 2-part speech. I think it would work great for him. That would be my advice. But you know what? The truth is, this thing is going to blow over. But it's just those white suburban Democrat. They're just virtue signaling. They're like vampires. They are. They're vampires. But anyway, we'll be back after this break. You'll be hearing more about this meme that Trump put out, I'm sure. We'll be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tomorrow's Crash Proof Retirement Show will air at a special time, 10 a.m. Tune in to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. Tomorrow's Crash Proof Retirement Show starts at 10 a.m.
If your old heater decides to call it quits in the middle of winter, no biggie. Horizon Heating and Cooling are your local experts at keeping you warm inside while kicking the cold to the curb. We'll be there to help same day with no emergency fees, even on nights and weekends. Horizon even replaces your broken unit the next day with free estimates available. And right now, trade in your old unit and get up to $5,000 toward a new HVAC system installation. So don't let heating issues stress you out. Book horizonservices.com today.
Rhea here to tell you about the excitement happening now at Lexus of Cherry Hill. The L Certified Winter Collection Sales Event is on. New year, new ride. Get special finance rates on L Certified Lexus models now through March 2nd. With over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, your next Lexus is waiting. Family and veteran-owned and operated, Lexus of Cherry Hill is proud to be an 8-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for customer sales experience. Start your journey today at LexusofCherryHill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for: their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. Magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, "Have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner." Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Welcome back to the Tom Azelby Show here on 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. I've been seeing a lot of this on social media and just people, oh, Trump's getting rich, like he's stealing, he's corrupt, his net worth is going up because he's selling his cryptos and he's basically he's a thief. But that's kind of their MO. And the only reason he's president is because he wants to get rich. He's already rich, people. He's very rich. But I'm going to give you some points that you can explain to these people The real thief left the Irish mobster and his family, Joe Biden, Frank, James, and Hunter. Those guys, they're the real thing. Irish mobsters, in my view, the way they went around the world, even before he even got the president. His brothers were up to no good using his name, but they were the legitimate thieves as far as leveraging government and influence just to get a check. The Trump family runs a company, and they've made from licensing to real estate to golf courses. I'm going to give you some defense if you have to come up against some knucklehead who wants to say that Trump is only president to rip the whole world, rip the country off and make money. Here's what's going on right now. The stock market, I think, is up 22%. And let me tell you, no matter how much money, 22%, if you have $100,000 in the bank, now you have if you're in the market and you match the average, now you got 122,000. Okay. That's how far the market's up. Now imagine if you're a billionaire, okay, and the market's been up 22%. Okay. You're going to have, you're adding a lot of net worth. Okay. You're adding a lot of net worth. Here's another thing. Trump's golf business and hospitality business, which is a global business, by the way, that business is up 30%. People, I hear it too, because I know a lot of, from people who I know. I hang around with a lot of guys that love golf. I play golf, but I don't love it. But people that travel all over the place to play golf, people like going to his golf courses. And his business is up 30%. He's the president of the United States. People now are curious. I want to go to his resort in Scotland. I want to go to the one down in Palm Beach. Trump here, Bedminster. People want to go. They're interested. The guy's the president of the United States. There's something about playing at his courses. But the business is up 30%. Now, he's not making people go there to spend their golf money, their hotel money at his place. They're going there because they want to go there, and it's up 30%. He's a brand, the Trump brand. People want to go. But that business, which is a huge asset for him, is up 30%. So, and by the way, in certain areas in the kind of, there's different segments of the market, but wealthy people, the golf business is booming to join country clubs. It is crazy. A club down here in Florida, the golf course that I live on, 10 years ago, you could have joined here for $15,000. It's now $125,000 just to walk in the door. Now think of that. Think about if you were in the golf business, that type of growth. It's not even 15 years ago. It was like 7 years ago. So the growth in golf in that upper market of people with certain incomes is through the roof, and they're paying top dollar. Trump's also a ground floor crypto guy. That business is up 12%. Now, here's what's up huge. His other business is up 400%. That's his branding business. This guy sells wine. He has sold ties. Now he's in crypto. The family's always been in the branding business. And quite frankly, Trump is no longer running the business. He's running the country, obviously. He's a very busy man. The guy's working every day. He's not working on the business. That's been left to his sons and his daughter and all the other great people he's hired, because they run a big organization. But the branding, and people want the Trump brand. That is up 400%. 400% that is up. So, and the Trumps, for decades, generationally, the Trump brand and the Trump family actually sell products, unlike the Bidens. They sell services, hotel rooms, golf packages, condos, restaurants. They actually sell something. Never mind, he got $500 million back on that fake financial case in New York City. $500 million. He finally got that put back. And I'm sure if you put that in the market at 22%, now it's worth $600 or $700 million. He got that back after that fraudulent case. See, politicians, and this was Democrats and Republicans for so many decades. If you were an entrepreneur, you could never be president, because these people plan on rising to the politicianal people who want to be in politics. It's an odd breed. They're all getting rich now, but before they didn't, and they'd cross their I's and dot their T's because they wanted that political power. They might not get the financial power. Now they get both, but they do it. Now they're able to get both. Why? That's a whole different story for another show. But believe me, Donald Trump and his family are earning their money. So don't let anyone tell you they're not. Have a great weekend. I'll be back next Saturday, 8 to 9. Look forward to it. See See ya.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're